Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. As always, I'm your host Ian from EonTalk, and in my previous most memorable Korean movies video, I mentioned that I believe 2012 was the best year for Korean films. And so today, I thought I'd go deeper into that topic and show why I believe this was one of the best years for Korean cinema. Before going into the list, I'd just like to explain the criteria I used. First, I went and looked up the top movies by year and organized these movies in a spreadsheet by their box office, revenue numbers, and audience scores. The time frame I looked at was between 2008 and 2019. Following this, I took a look at each year and went through how many of these movies I believe were worth watching and which ones I recommend. Then, I took into consideration how diverse of genre, actors, and other factors the list had by each year, and ultimately came to the conclusion that 2012 was my favorite year for Korean movies, as it had a very wide range of genres, including crime, comedy, action, mystery, romance, drama, thriller, and historical drama, as well as various actors and actresses. After concluding that 2012 was my favorite year, I organized the movies released in 2012 and ranked the top 15 of my favorites. As always, these movie recommendations lists are composed of my personal taste. They are totally subjective to my biased opinions, so if you have differing views, please respectfully leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Now then, shall we get into the list? Let's go. To begin the list, A Company Man took the number 15 spot. A Company Man is an action drama that was released on October 11th of 2012 and was directed by Im Sang-yoon. A Company Man had the likes of So Ji-sup, Lee Mi-yeon, Kwak Do-won, Kim Dong-jun, and Lee Kyung-young in his cast lineup and was rated 19+, which is equivalent to being rated R. This is probably the reason why it had a lower box office number, as it limits the audience that can watch the film in theaters. The movie recorded 1,110,523 at the box offices and had an audience score of 6.5. Moving along, the number 14 movie was the comedy action film The Grand Heist. The Grand Heist was released on August 8th and was directed by Kim Joo-ho, who also directed the more recently released film Jesters: The Game Changers, which had a very similar theme and overlapping elements as The Grand Heist. The movie featured the likes of Cha Tae-yeon, Oh Ji-ho, Min Yo-rin, Song Dong-il, Shin Jung-geun, and Ko Chang-seok, and recorded 4,909,944 at the box offices with an audience score of 7.59. Going into the number 13 position, my 13th favorite film of 2012 was Tower. Tower was released on Christmas Day of 2012 and was directed by the same director of Sector 7 and May 18th, Kim Ji-hoon. The movie starred Seo Kyung-gu, Son Ye-jin, Kim Sang-kyung, Kim In-kwon, and An Sung-gi, amongst others, and had a box office number of 5,181,228 and an audience rating of 8.03. The number 12 movie was a rom-com that was released on May 17th, All About My Wife. This film was directed by Min Gyu-dong, who also directed Her Story and The Treacherous, and the cast lineup includes Im Soo-jung, Lee Sung-gyun, Ryu Sung-ryong, and Lee Kwang-soo. All About My Wife recorded 4,598,985 at the box office and had an audience score of 8.57. Next, number 11 was a very sexual movie titled My PS Partner, or What You Wearin'. I found that this movie has two English titles, as the Korean search engine, Naver, titles it the former, whereas Google labels it as the latter. The film had the actors Ji-sung, Kim Ha-jung, Shin So-yul, Kang Kyung-jun, and Kim Sung-ho, and was directed by Byun Sung-hyun, who also directed The Merciless. The PS in My PS Partner stands for phone sex, and based on that, you could probably guess that the movie is highly provocative and so rated 19+. This, therefore, most likely is a crucial reason as to why the movie recorded a lower box office number of 1,831,741. The audience score of the film was 8.24. Going into the top 10, number 10 is a mystery film that I found to be very entertaining, but is fairly underrated, Helpless. I remember watching this movie in theater and being very confused as the mystery it has is quite puzzling. Released on March 8th, Helpless was directed by Byun Young-ju and featured the cast of Lee Sung-gyun, Kim Min-hee, Cho Sung-ha, Song Ha-yoon, Choi Dong-moon, Lee Hee-jun, Kim Min-jae, and Park Hae-jun. The movie's box office number was 2,436,884, the audience rating was 9, and I definitely do recommend this movie if you enjoy mystery films. Number 9 was a great action thriller that I included in my best Korean thrillers video, Confession of Murder. Confession of Murder was released on November 8th and starred Jung Jae-young, Park Si-woo, Jung Hae-gyun, Kim Young-ae, Choi Won-young, and Kim Jong-gu. Directed by Jung Byung-gil, who also did The Villainous, was another 19+ movie. The movie recorded 2,729,830 at the box office and had an audience rating of 8.48. Moving along, the number 8 movie was a movie I recently featured on my Korean movies to watch during social distancing video, titled Deranged. Deranged is a film that resembles the situations we are facing today with the ongoing pandemic and was the first movie I thought of when preparing that movies to watch during social distancing video. If you haven't seen the film, I highly recommend you see it. Released on July 5th, Deranged was directed by Park Jung-woo, who also did Pandora, and stars Kim Young-min, Moon Jung-hee, Kim Dong-wan, and Lee Han-hee, amongst others. The movie recorded 4,516,063 at the box offices and had an audience score of 7.18. The number 7 spot goes to a type of movie that you don't typically see in Korean cinema, a werewolf boy. The film is different from other Korean movies in the sense that it's about a werewolf, which in itself is highly uncommon in Korean films, and it also has elements of drama, action, romance, and thriller. A Werewolf Boy was directed by Cho Sung-hee, who also directed Phantom Detective, and had 2 A-list main leads, Song Joong-ki and Park Bo-young, and supporting actors of Jang Young-nam, Yoo Yeon-seok, and Kim Yang-gi. The movie had a very suitable release in terms of timing, as it was released on Halloween Day of 2012 and recorded 6,654,390 at the box offices and had an audience rating of 8.65. Next is another romance movie that warmed the hearts of many, Architecture 101. Released during the springtime of 2012, Architecture 101 was directed by Lee Yong-ju, who also directed a very different movie in theme titled Possessed. The film stars the likes of Tae-woong, Han Ga-in, Lee Jae-hoon, Suji, Cho Jung-seok, and Yoo Yeon-seok, and marked the start of popularity for Suji and Cho Jung-seok in terms of featured films. Architecture 101 had 4,113,696 people at the box offices and recorded an audience score of 9.5. We are now approaching the top 5 list. Which movies made 2012 shine for Korean cinema? Let's find out. The number 5 movie is a very underrated Korean thriller, and if you know me, you know I love Korean thrillers. This movie was included in my best Korean thrillers video and is one of the most gruesome Korean films I've seen, Traffickers. Released on August 29th, this crime thriller was directed by Kim Hong-sun, the director of Metamorphosis, The Chase, and The Con Artist, and had a cast lineup of Im Chang-jung, Choi Daniel, Oh Dal-soo, Cho Yoon-hee, Chung Ji-yoon, and Cho Dar-wan, amongst others. As mentioned before, the movie is one of the most gruesome films, and so it makes sense that the movie was rated 19+. Thus, the movie raked in a relatively lower box office number of 1,646,142 and had an audience rating of 7.01. Moving along to number 4, the number 4 movie is a Korean historical drama that was released on September 13th, Masquerade. This film had an amazing cast lineup of Lee Byung-hun, Lee Seung-ryong, Han Hyo-ju, Kim In-kwon, Chang Wang, and Chi Min-kyung, and is quite different from the typical Korean historical dramas as it isn't full out serious but has some comedic elements to it. I'm not the biggest fan of this genre, but this is one of the few that I highly enjoyed. Directed by Chu Chang-min, who also directed 7 Years of Night, Masquerade had the second highest box office number of this list with 12,324,062. The film also had the second highest audience score, recording 9.24. This next movie is another fairly mature film, Eungyo. Released on April 25th, Eungyo had a great cast of Park Hae-il, Kim Moo-yeol, Kim Go-eun, Jung Man-sik, and Park Chul-hyun. This was the film that I first learned of Kim Go-eun in, and the movie was directed by Chung Ji-woo, the director of Tune In For Love, which also stars Kim Go-eun, Heart Blackened, another great drama film, and Fourth Place. As you can probably guess based on the fact that I said it was a mature movie, Eungyo is rated 19+, meaning it had a fairly lower box office number at 1,346,511 and had an audience rating of 7.08. The number 2 movie is the movie that I selected as my favorite of 2012 in my most memorable Korean movies video, The Thieves. I know I said that Thieves was my favorite of 2012 in that video, but I thought I'd switch it up here and place it as my number 2 favorite. Honestly, all 5 of the top 5 here could have taken the number 1 spot, but hey, it's ultimately my personal preference, and so I decided to change it up a bit. Released on July 25th, this action comedy was also featured on my Best Korean Comedies video and features a stunning cast of Kim Yoon-suk, Kim Hae-soo, Lee Jung-jae, Chun Ji-yeon, Simon Yam, Kim Hae-suk, Oh Dal-soo, Kim Soo-yeon, Angelica Lee, and Derek Sang. Directed by Choi Dong-hoon, who also did Assassination, the first Tacha film, Tacha the High Rollers, and The Big Swindle, The Thieves had the highest box office record of 2012 with 12,984,692 and had an audience score of 7.62. And finally, the number 1 movie of 2012. This movie was a crime drama released on February 2nd and has one of the most memorable casts, lines, and scenes. Nameless Gangster, Rules of Time. Nameless Gangster has an amazing cast lineup of Choi Min-sik, Ha Jung-woo, Cho Jin-woong, Dawn Lee aka Ma Dong-seok, Kwak Do-won, and Kim Sung-gyun, and was directed by Yoon Jong-bin, the director of The Spy Gone North, Kundo, Age of Rampant, and Beastie Boys. Despite the film being rated 19+, the movie had a relatively high box office number. Whereas other 19+ rated movies on this list had box office numbers of 1 to 3 million, Nameless Gangster recorded nearly 5 million, standing at 4,720,060. The movie also had an audience rating of 8.62. That concludes today's video on the best year for Korean movies. Thank you to everyone that watched till the end. How many of the movies mentioned here have you seen? Do you agree with me that 2012 was the best year for Korean cinema? If not, which year do you believe was the best for K-films? Please respectfully leave your opinions in the comments and I'll try to get to all of them. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to show that you enjoyed the video, and if you loved the video, your support on Patreon would be very much appreciated. Lastly, I'll leave the links to all the best Korean movies videos I've made down in the descriptions, so be sure to check those out as well. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.